I don't know if I'm live or not. There I go. I'm live. Hey, everybody, it's Kevin. I got a little error message there saying I wasn't live, but the timer was ticking. So, hey, I'm Kevin with Mix Coach, and I want to tell you about, first of all, before we get started, I'm going to give you 3 random tips. They seem random, but they're actually really, really good tips, and they will definitely help you with your mixes, your workflow, get you going faster, get mixes done faster, and give you more confidence as you finish your mix. But first, I want to tell you about a mixing workshop that I have. It's at mixcoach.com/workshop. I'm going to give you 5 of my best tips, the things that I tell everybody, and the things that seem to be the most helpful to people who hear these tips. You can find it. It's a free workshop, mixcoach.com/workshop. You can go and register for it now. There's a webinar starting soon, and I hope that you're on it and you get to check it out, okay? So go and check that out. And so the way this is going to go today is I'm going to give you these 3 tips, and I'm just going to burn through them, and then I'll take some questions at the end if there are questions about this or about anything else, okay? So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started, okay? So the first tip that I have for you is, it's a random tip. It's never start from scratch except for when you're using Melodyne. Now, I've got a series that I have been putting out the last couple of weeks, how to build your mixing template from scratch. And I think that that's really, really important. But one thing you can't put in your mixing template is Melodyne for the most part, because well, you can, but you have to be careful, because this happened to me today, and I'm scratching my head, with all this experience mixing, I'm scratching my head going, where are these random bass parts and violin parts and vocal parts coming from? And then I realized that they were still in Melodyne, and I had imported those from the last song. So when you import your template and you've got Melodyne going, Melodyne will bring over the old tracks. So it will get you. I promise you, it will get you. So the best thing you can do is, first of all, know that that's happening. That's what's happening. Second thing you can do is just go ahead and take, and instead of trying to select everything on the track and then delete it, the best thing to do is really just turn Melodyne off or uninstantiate the plugin. Go ahead and do no plugin on the insert, and then turn right around and put Melodyne back in there. Now, what this will do is this will make sure that Melodyne puts all your vocal files in the right spot in the folder that's in on the song that you're working on. So never start from scratch. If you need some tutelage on how to build your own mixing template, go to my YouTube channel on Mix Coach, or just go to mixcoach.com/blog, and you can find where I've put 2 so far in a series on how to build your mix template. Get your template built, but there's some things that you don't want to bring forward, and that is files that live inside Melodyne, okay? It will make you think you're going crazy, okay? So tip number 1, never start from scratch. Always use a template, but don't forget not to bring those vocals or those fiddles or those violins or those dobros or anything that you could have a possible tuning problem with. Don't bring those forward. Just as a little side tip here, I've been using Melodyne a lot on bass guitar lately. If you've got a bass player that doesn't play consistently loud notes, or you don't want to overcompress a bass, put it into Melodyne, and there's a new macro in there that will allow you to bring down the loudest volume of the loudest notes and bring up the volume of the lowest notes, and it will give you a crystal clear, consistent bass line. And then you can compress if you want to, and you won't be having that over anxious sound that sometimes bass compressors can do to a bass. Okay, so a little side note there. The second note, hey Ken, good to see you, man. The second note I have, now this is going to be kind of short, because I have ADD, okay? I have a hard time focusing sometimes, and especially since this quarantine and I'm doing a lot more work from home. My girl Kaylin is learning from home, and we share the same office sometimes. My wife is studying at home, and sometimes we share the same house. Sometimes we share in the same room. And sometimes you don't take into account that somebody else is working when you have a question. So one of the best things that I have found I'm going to see if I can share this this tab here. This right here is one of the best things. This is called the Bose Quiet Comfort 3. I have a set of these. My wife is using these at the moment, and I've talked to some really good mixers who say that these are the ones they mix on a lot. And I know that they're not considered hi-fi headphones, but they're noise canceling headphones, and they will tend to suck all the noise out of the room and make you concentrate more. And that, I cannot even begin to tell you what an awesome blessing that is, to be able to concentrate, because that's the thing that is the most valuable thing to me right now, is to be able to concentrate on what I'm doing. It was happening this morning. And last night or yesterday, I was working Labor Day. I'm just distracted. Every noise distracts me. And this is a very valuable tool, worth much more. I'm actually using the Quiet Comfort 35s. These are the 15s, but they all work the same. To be able to concentrate for an extended amount of time, it's worth more than any plug-in. So plug your head into these headphones, and I guarantee you that ADD is not as great as QC3. I use Q3. I can't even say it. Anyway, I was trying to be cute. But yeah, if you have attention deficit disorder of any kind, or you find that your house or your home or your studio is becoming more and more noisy and you need to concentrate and get things done, use these. These are good. If you don't have these, use a good set of like closed back headphones. They'll work also. Okay. So tip number 1, don't start from scratch unless you're using Melodyne. Tip number 2, use Quiet Comfort 3 or a good set of noise canceling headphones if you really want to concentrate. Okay. And this is the third random tip that I have for you. Okay. Let me remove this. The third random tip that I have for you that I really think has really helped me lately. I find that the more things I have to do, the more things I get done. And I know that sounds like obvious, but I think that there is something to be said for momentum and this flywheel effect, that when you get things done, you get used to getting things done. Because the worst I've ever felt is when I felt like I didn't have anything to do and couldn't think of anything to do. So when you get something to do, you tend to be more productive and be more creative. Great mixes are not done in a great amount of time. They're done with a great amount of focus, and which is, ties to my last tip. So even if you have to make one up, and these are not made up on my end, these are things that are very real, that need to be taken care of every week. The last 3 or 4 weeks have been crazy busy for me, because I've been doing everything from overdubbing guitar parts to mixing, recording video, editing video, recording sermons. The list is just endless. And when you're that busy, you tend to be more productive because you have these deadlines, and they're very real deadlines that can definitely help you. So even if you have to make one up, set yourself a deadline. I have always said that I would rather know that I can mix a song in an hour 10 times, so 10 hours, than to take one 10-hour mix. Because a lot of times a 10-hour mix, you reach the point of diminishing returns, and your mix that happen quickly within the hour time range, or maybe even 2 hours, tends to be more authentic, more organic, more true to the music style that you're doing, because you're mixing like a musician at that point. You're somebody's basically, in theory, somebody's handing you a guitar and saying, "Hey, play this song for me," and you're like picking up the mixing board and you're mixing the songs. You're not like messing with the tuning, wondering about the gauge of the strings. You're not wondering what the pedals are doing. You're not worried about any of that stuff. The only thing you're turning to is the things that you know already. Okay. Here's another little side tip for you too. You don't tend to learn as much from the song that you're actually working on. You tend to learn from that song after it's done. So go ahead and get it done, learn your lesson, and apply what you're learning to the next song and not this song, because you will absolutely drive yourself crazy if you try to constantly change in the middle of the stream. So Anyway, hopefully that'll help. So even if you have to set a deadline, even if you have to make up a fake deadline, set one for yourself. Like I've done this before. When I need to jumpstart myself, I will go, okay, I'm going to finish this song by 3 p.m. and I'm going to be ready to print the song by 3 p.m. And then I will try my best to be ready by 3 p.m. unless something catastrophic comes up or I get interrupted or something like that. I'm not wearing my headphones like I should. Then go back and meet that deadline. And I'll guarantee you that if you'll mix like that, the mix will get done, first of all, and it's not as bad as you think it would be because you mix with an instinct. And that's what we're trying to do as mixers, right? We're trying to sharpen our instincts and tighten our skills a little bit so we know immediately what needs to be done. We don't overthink it, because even if you're working for somebody and they know the right thing to do, but they're always hesitating and they're always second guessing themselves and they're always doubting if it's right, those people are hard to work with, right? Because they could do it. They just don't. They don't do it in time anyway. So sharpen your skills by getting mixes done quick. Set a deadline. Set a realistic deadline. Set unrealistic deadlines occasionally, because what you're doing is you're flexing that mixing muscle. Okay. So that's 3 random tips, and hopefully they'll help. I'll recap them real quick. Never start from scratch unless you're in Melodyne, because you will bring some files forward and it will make you confused. Second thing is use noise canceling headphones if you need to concentrate tighter. Okay. And then the third thing is always have a deadline, even if you have to make it up. Okay. One more time, I'm going to mention the workshop that I have. It's a mixing workshop. If you like these kind of tips, I've got 45 minutes worth of tips in this workshop here. So sign up for it. Register at mixcoach.com/workshop, and hopefully that'll help. Okay, I'm going to buzz over to the comments real quick and take some questions if you have any. Notice there's Ken Briggs on here. Hey, Ken Briggs, we're going to be calling you really soon. We got a thing for you. James Helliker, man, loved working at your church yesterday, man. It was a lot of fun. And which part are you? I wasn't looking at the comments. I don't know what you're talking about. Which part were you talking about? Preach. Which tip was the one that you liked? Maybe you liked them all. I don't know. Stephen Klein said, I've always heard, if you want to get a job done, give it to a busy man. I 100% agree, because I have been the busy man before, and I have been the non-busy man that didn't get things done the way I should. Yes, absolutely. That's for sure, man. James Helliker says, set a deadline. James, you know what it's like to have those tight deadlines, man. That's it definitely helps, and it makes you more reactive or more responsive, really. When somebody gives you a deadline, you start formulating, if you practice enough, you start formulating those worst case scenario instances, right? Where, oh, I know I can get it done. I may not be able to get this done, but I know I can get it done by this date. And then a lot of times you end up doing more than you thought you could, right? Anyway, hey, thank you guys for showing up today. Make sure that you go back and check out the workshop. There it is. And in the meantime, until I see you on the workshop, I will see you next time. Thank you guys for coming to hang out with me. It means the world to me, and I hope this stuff is helpful. Okay. Okay. I'll talk to you guys soon. See you next time.